Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early. It's 3:35 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I can't wait to see the comments in today's video. All right, what's today's video about? The next James Bond character, because Daniel Craig is leaving the franchise. The last James Bond, he's leaving the franchise. So there's a search for a new James Bond. What if the new James Bond character is gay? The storyline is that he's a gay spy. What if? The reason this came up is because Luke Evans, an out gay actor, I'll probably put a picture of him on the thumbnail. He's being looked at seriously for the role, and he was asked, what do you think about having the James Bond character being gay? And I like I said, I try to be 100% honest with you guys. And as soon as I saw this, I was apprehensive. I was. I like to, I come on here and say I'm open-minded and, I'm all for equal rights and everything. But my first thoughts were, this isn't going to work. I thought, I got so many notes here. You guys are going to see me look down a lot because I got a lot of ideas on this. The first thing that came to my mind, Live and Let Die, in 1973, was one of the very first movies I ever was taken to as a child. I believe I was 7 or 8 years old. 1973, Live and Let Die. My father and my Uncle Danny, my father's brother. I remember sitting in the theater. I remember watching this. I remember the scene, the iconic scene when they're carrying the coffin and they have the in New Orleans and they're doing the New Orleans music and everything, the skull faces and stuff like that. But one of the things I remember most is the opening scenes. The woman, you can't see her face, but you see the body. And, I'm 7 or 8 years old, and I still get the feeling it was blue. I remember being a blue background, and the woman's shape dancing around, and it's voluptuous and everything. I still remember this. So my first instinct was, wait a minute, how can you stay true to the character? Because the character is, and I thought about this too, the character is promiscuous. And I thought about using that word, because how often are guys described as promiscuous? Usually it's women and gay men that are described that way. And I thought about how fair is that too, because straight men are some of the most promiscuous animals on this earth. And how come they're not described as promiscuous as ever? But anyway, James Bond, let's call him, he's always seeking a more, let's say that, the bed scenes. And I started thinking, his character, that's part of his character. So at first, there was nothing about the gay part of it, but I was wondering, how would this work? So I started thinking about it more. Like with those opening scenes, what if it was a male outline, right? Now, right away, all the guys watching this will be like, all the straight guys, like, well, I don't know if I want to see a guy dancing around and, But then I thought about that more. What if it was like athletic? What if you saw the guy's figure and it was, he was lifting weights or playing football or something, catching a football and something like that. Except he's got quite, an outline, just like they did with women, So you do it so that it can be enjoyed by, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this, so it can be enjoyed by all audiences, where the LGBTQ community could get the homoerotic aspect of it, and the straight men could tell themselves, well, it's just like watching sports. It's, they admire the athleticism and the build of the man. They're envious of the build of the man. They could tell themselves that, so, that's the only reason they're watching it. You know what I'm saying? So I thought about this more. I've told you guys this before, I don't know, it's my nature. I've always been very curious. Funny I use that word, huh? I remember this. I was hesitant to do this because I thought about it after. Let me just tell you what I was going to say. Foods, different foods. I was brought up, my mother cooked. She was, French Canadian, Native American, so we had fried bread. We had shepherd's pie, the usual things. And I remember going to the store, and I remember begging my mother to buy coconuts, to buy limes, because these are things that I had never seen before, and I was dying to look at them. I remember the coconut. I brought it home, I cut it open, I kept the shells. I probably still have the shells to this day. And Chinese food, all the different kinds of music. I was at the beach the other day, and they had like Puerto Rican salsa playing. And I couldn't understand the words, and the people around me were the Caucasian people complaining. "Ah, that damn music. Why do they have to play that damn music? Like they want to hear Metallica. And then I was listening to the music and I liked it, man. A sunny day, the breeze blowing over you, the steel drums, the horns. Even though I can't understand the words, when I got back home, I started looking up on iTunes because I wanted to buy some of it. I've always wanted I know French. I always wanted to learn Spanish. I've always been drawn to various different cultures. So I started thinking about this, the bed scenes. And I started thinking about how I've watched all the James Bond films. And when it gets to bed scenes, it's getting old. It's getting tired. That's probably the time that I get up and get a snack and a soda when he's in bed, and he's doing the whole macho thing. It's kind of old, and I started thinking, what if he was you see him getting out of bed or in bed with another guy, I started thinking, if I was young, 7 or 8, how would I look? I'd probably just think there was a sleepover, I'd probably look at it innocently. But now, that curious part of me, I use the word curious again, it'd be more interesting to me, because that aspect has kind of gotten a little old. The studly spy betting the women. Deep down, I think I've gotten just kind of, I got numb to it. It kind of bores me a little bit. So I started thinking, this could work. So there's going to be links down below. Okay, there's a history. I didn't remember this, but there's a history of gay characters in Bond films. I don't remember this, but there's one article down below that says Lashana Lynch was a gay 007 in No Time to Die. I don't know if that was the black girl. I don't remember that. You guys can tell me in the comments. Q, there's a scene in No Time to Die where he's preparing. He's got a date and he's preparing. He's got an apron on and he's got a hairless cat and he's getting prepared for a date. And then the Q says something about him coming over. So Q is gay. And that's not a far stretch, because I don't know. I hate to say that, but if there's going to be any gay character, you kind of picture Q. I don't know. I hope it's not offensive saying that. Okay, now here's something interesting. I don't remember this scene in Skyfall. The link will be right down below so you guys can rewatch this scene. It's with Raul Sylvia. Okay, and he's the bad guy. And Daniel Craig, James Bond's all tied up. And the bad guy starts opening up his shirt and touching his neck. And talking about, then he sees the bad guy's hands on Daniel Craig's thighs. And Craig's all bound up. He's just sitting there. And the bad guy says something about, "Oh, Mr. Bond, I see you're going back to your training, what to do in this situation." And then the bad guy says, "Well, there's a first time for everything." And then Daniel Craig, James Bond says, "What makes you think it's my first time?" Whoa! Is that Daniel Craig saying he's had gay experiences before? So we've already broached this. Also, there's another article down below. This was interesting. Daniel Craig likes or goes to gay bars fairly often. And there's an interesting reason too, because there's less fights, there's less machoism in these bars. That was his reason for saying that he frequents gay bars. I don't know if he used the word frequents, but goes to gay bars because it's more of a relaxed live and let live atmosphere. And I can understand that. I used to go to strip clubs a lot, and I hate to say this. That was back when I was going to strip clubs. I thought I was less likely to get in a fight at a strip club because in the regular bars, guys were all posturing and strutting for the available women. But in the strip bars, we're all watching the one woman and nobody's going home with her. Well, I can't say that because I have done that before, and we'll talk about that in another video. And there seemed to be less hostility, less friction between the male patrons. It was almost like a brotherly thing, fraternity kind of thing, which is kind of sad now that I look back and think about it. All right, so then I started thinking, how many gay bars have I gone to? And I could only think of two. And I was like, I'm 57. I'm almost 57 years old. I must have been in more gay bars than that. And I specifically remember going to one gay bar by myself. And to be honest, it had to do with sales and my addiction and what I was involved in back then, and conducting business. And I remember playing pool with a black girl, a voluptuous black girl I was very attracted to. And she had gone there with her gay friend, this Caucasian gay guy. And I played pool with him. And we ended up leaving together. But we'll save that for another video. That's a true story. All right, let me know. What do you guys think about a gay James Bond? You guys have a great Saturday.